Hey guys, so we've been learning the last few days on Zoom and on Edmodo how to divide. The one way that I was showing you how to divide before was to draw a picture to figure out your answer. For example, I'll show you again. Let's say I'm going to do an easier one just so that I can show you the new strategy because it's really fun. So let's say we're going to do 6 divided by 2. Okay, when we are looking at the division, we're thinking of 6. That's the number I have to pass out, the whole number. My answer can never be bigger than this right here. So 6 is my whole number, and then I need to divide it into 2 groups. So I would split my parts into 2. So my whole number is 6, and I need to split it up into 2 groups. So what I would do is I would give 1 to each group and count until I get to 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then how many ever I have in each group is my answer. I have 3 in this group and I have 3 in this group, which means that my answer is 3. Now, there is another strategy that you can use, and we're going to watch a video about it. But before we watch the video, I wanted to show it to you on the whiteboard. There is another strategy we can use, and it's called repeated subtraction. So when we do multiplication, it's repeated addition. So I'll show you that one too. Let's say we're doing 2 times 3. That's saying 2 groups of 3. So that's basically like saying 3 plus 3, which gives me 6. And my answer would be 6. So when we multiply, we do repeated addition. When we divide, we do repeated subtraction. So I'm going to show you another way to do division using subtraction. So let's use this equation again. 6 divided by 2 equals. So we already know what the answer is, and I like to look. This little thing there reminds me that I can use repeated subtraction. So what I can do is I can take my whole number 6 and I can subtract this number until I get to 0. So I'm going to show you. 6 minus 2 equals 4. So I did minus 2. Now I'm going to keep doing minus 2 until I get to 0. So now I'm going to write 4, because that's where I was. 4 minus 2 equals, what's 4 minus 2? 2. And am I at 0 yet? Not yet. So now I'm going to take this 2, 2 minus 2 again, because that's my number here. 2 minus 2 equals 0. So to get my answer, I need to see how many times did I subtract my 2 until I got to 0. So I did it. Let's see. I subtracted minus 2, 1, 2, 3. I subtracted 2 3 times, so my answer is 3, which is the answer we got when we drew. I'm going to show you again and give you another example, and then we're going to watch the video. That way you can get started on your work. Let's do one that's a little harder. So we're going to do 16 divided by 4. Okay? Now, this is the number I start with. This is my biggest number, and I need to subtract this number until I get to 0. So I would start with my first number, 16, and I would subtract the number I'm trying to divide by. So 16 minus 4 equals 12. Then I bring this number over here, 12 minus, and I'm doing the same number, minus 4 equals 8. Then I bring this number over here, 8 minus 4 equals 4. And then I bring this number over here, 4 minus 4 equals 0. So I subtract 4 until I get to 0. I start with my main number here, and then I subtract the second number until I get to 0. How many times did I subtract 4? Because that's going to be my answer. Minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4. I did it 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is 4. Let's do one more. Let's do 24 divided by 2. Now this one might take a little bit longer, but this is just another strategy you can use. If you want to do the drawing, you can do that, or you can think of it this way. So let's start. 24 is my big number. That's what I'm going to start with. And I need to subtract this number, my second number, until I get to 0. So 24 minus 2 equals 22. Over here, I'm going to scoot over a little. 22 minus 2 equals 20. 20, bringing this down, 20 minus 2 equals 18. 18 minus 2 equals 16. Am I at 0 yet? Nope, so I keep going. I bring 16 down. 16 minus 2 equals 14. 14 minus 2 equals 12. 12 minus 2 equals 10. Can you still see it? Okay. 10 minus 2 equals 8. I'm going to split the board because I ran out of room, which is fine if you need to do on your board too or your paper. 8 minus 2 equals 6. 6 minus 2 equals 4. I'm almost there. I got to get to 0, remember? 4 minus 2 equals 2. Woohoo, I'm almost there. And 2 minus 2 equals 0. Now I got to 0. I need to count how many times did I subtract 2. How many times did I do minus this number? So minus this number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I did minus 2 12 times, so my answer would be 12. So this is just another strategy. It's called repeated subtraction. This is another strategy you can use if you don't want to draw the pictures. Sometimes it does take a little longer, but your brain might work a little bit better just doing the numbers like this. So we're going to watch the video now from Envision, and then you're going to go and work on your assignment. All right, let's get started.
How can you divide using repeated subtraction? Think about this question during the lesson. June has 10 strawberries to serve to her guests. If each guest eats 2 strawberries, how many guests can June serve? Look at the bar diagram that shows the division. What part shows the total number of strawberries?
So they're asking what part shows the whole number. The top of the bar graph shows you your whole number. So the 10, there's only 10 strawberries in all. Can't get any bigger than that. They're not growing strawberries. They only have 10 strawberries.
The line above the bar shows the total. There are a total of 10 strawberries. Why is there a 2 in the box? It shows that each guest will get 2 strawberries. What does the arrow stand for? The arrow stands for the number of guests who will get 2 strawberries. How can you use subtraction to solve this problem?
So just like we were doing, I was just doing on the whiteboard, we can do repeated subtraction. I can start with 10 and subtract 2, do minus 2, minus 2, minus 2 until I get to 0. And the amount of times that I did minus 2 will give me my answer. So I can use repeated subtraction to find my answer. 10 minus 2 equals 8. 8 minus 2 equals 6. 6 minus 2 equals 4. 4 minus 2 equals 2. And 2 minus 2 equals 0. And then I count how many times did I do minus 2. I will have done minus 2 5 times, which means my answer would be 5 people or 5.
You can use repeated subtraction to find how many groups of 2 are in 10. How do you know when to stop subtracting? You stop when you get to 0. Then you know that there are no more groups of 2 to subtract.
So let's try it. As you can see right here over to the side, that's exactly what Ms. Leibowitz just said. And then look, how many times did they do minus 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which means my answer would be 5. So let's see, drag the strawberries to the mat to show how many guests will get 2 strawberries. So here's my 10 strawberries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna pull them over. So they said each guest gets 2. So here's 2 for somebody. Here's 2 strawberries for somebody else. Here's another group of 2, another group of 2, and another group of 2. So if we're looking, how many people will get strawberries if each person gets 2? 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, and 5 groups. So that would mean 5 people can have strawberries.
You can subtract 2 5 times. There are 5 groups of 2 in 10. There are no strawberries left. June can serve 5 guests. How can division be used to solve this problem?
You can write a division equation to find the number of groups.
So what could our division problem be? If I have 10 altogether, that's got to be my first number. And then if 2 is what I'm going to be subtracting, it's going to be groups of 2. I could do 10 divided by 2 equals, and then my answer that we got, 5.
10 divided by 2 equals what number? What do the parts in the division equation stand for? 10 is the total number of strawberries. 2 is the number of strawberries each guest gets. The question mark is the number of guests who get the strawberries. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. June can serve 5 guests. Now you know how to divide using repeated subtraction.
I also wanted to remind you guys that you can use fact families to try and remember your answers as well. So in this equation, they did it by repeated subtraction, and they did 10 divided by 2 equals 5. If I have a fact family, remember multiplication and division go together. If I have 10 divided by 2 equals 5, then that means that I can do 10 divided by 2, or not 2, I'm sorry, divided by 5 equals 2, right? Those are inverse equations and they get the same answers. They're fact families, okay? Now, the multiplication, remember, multiplication is the opposite of division. If I use these two numbers, I can get my final product. So I could do 2 times 5, which we already know in our head. 2 times 5 equals 10 because 5 plus 5 is 10. And then I could also say 5 times 2 equals 10. This really helps you because if you know your multiplication, then you can solve your division. Because I want you to look at this. If I have 12 divided by 2 equals, I can do my minus 2, minus 2, minus 2. I can draw my picture, or I can think. That means that 2 times what equals 12? If you really know your times 2 tables, then you can find this answer. If I do 2 times what number would give me 12? Because this is a question mark, right? What is the double that makes 12? What number, when you double it, makes 12? 6. I know 2 times 6 equals 12, so that means my fact family, that this also has to be 6. So sometimes when you really know your multiplication, it really helps you with division because you can know, well, I know 2 times 6 equals 12. So this has to go together as a fact family. Just another little hint. So make sure you are using these strategies to find your answer. There might be some questions that ask you to type in the repeated subtraction equation. So make sure you are doing that. I'm also going to post the other video that I made for yesterday's assignment so you can see both strategies right next to each other. All right, guys, see you later.